Hi everyone, Michele Courage here from michellecourage.com. I'm coming to you from a really warm autumn day in Hawke's Bay, and it's our new property. We've been here just over a month now, probably almost two. Time is flying and I'm not even sure what day it is. But what I wanted to talk to you today was I finally am starting to feel a little bit more settled, and got this amazing download and channeled message, which is really interesting because it's a message for me, but as you know, the same as with my book. These messages are for you as well if you are traveling along in a spiritual way and just navigating the energies at the moment. My guidance has been to go quiet. The reason why we moved to Hawke's Bay in the middle of nowhere, everything lined up for it, is so that my soul could be more sheltered. So, sheltered from the world's chaos at the moment, because what's becoming clearer and clearer to me is that we as more and I'm not going to say advanced because it's about where you're at as a soul, coming onto this earth, you've got some tasks that you want to achieve, and some of us have got a different task, and it is not about the warrior, it's not about the change, it's actually anchoring in the new energy. So making sure and processing and dissolving and alchemizing, and the words that came out this morning or yesterday from my higher self is when I channel, I now know that I'm channeling my higher self. It's a 12th dimensional being. I'm just going to come right out and say it because you know what? Time for hiding is over. And so what I channeled here, and this may or may not resonate with you, it resonated massively with me. So if you are having called to go quieter, called to spend more time in nature, back away from others, just basically turn down the volume and the noise, this may resonate for you. So basically they were alluding to the fact that it's been really quiet for me moving to the country and finding my place and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to reach my audience and whatever. It's been quite a big thing for me because I'm the kind of person who really, really, really needs to keep going. And it's never really helped me because I kind of, in the past have gone so flat out that I missed the signs. It's like going on a motorway and you're going so fast you miss the signboard for the turn off. So it's like, hey, correct here. And then eventually you find yourself, you're not in the place that you were supposed to be. So my whole learning in this lifetime is to slow down. Hence, if I go too quickly, I start getting sort of anxiety and stress levels go up and all that kind of stuff. So, your path is pretty clear when you start opening your eyes and looking at your symptoms, at your what you're supposed to be doing, how it's working, how easy it is, how hard it is. And we as humans make it super hard. So, okay, so down to the channeled message. So you're struggling with concepts at present, and I am. I've been bouncing around what I should be doing, and then I come down to quietness and I just be, and that's cool. And then, I'm off again. Surely I must be doing something else. So we are keeping you safe and protected through this exceptionally volatile and intensive time. And the world is volatile and it is exceptionally intense. Be understanding of the fact that we have great things lined up for you, but we are needing you to be safe and quiet which for you is proving quite the challenge. So they're acknowledging, my higher self is acknowledging that I'm finding it quite hard just to sit and be. And, you know, they understand, but it's like a benevolent parent that turns around and goes, well, you know, I understand that, but that's not, you know, what we want. So do not be alarmed about your seemingly dull life. And I think a lot of us have felt like this. A lot of us are feeling that our lives have got a bit dull, a bit quiet, a bit boring. And there's kind of, you know, I think definitely if this has been chosen for you, I think if you're fighting this, whatever's been happening in the last 2 years and whatever, it's been different. But I think a lot of us have just released and gone with the flow. And a lot of healing has happened through this. But yeah, you know, some of us are kind of getting to that point where it's like, oh, you know, is this all there is? This is boring. This, you know, well, I have. You know, it's quiet and whatever. And I kind of feel like, hey, you know, I'd love to travel again and interact, but I also know that there's a lot of stuff out there that is going to affect me and energetically affect me. And yes, the conundrum is to keep quiet and keep to yourself and download the amazing information while still, you know, not being in the thick of it. So do not be alarmed about your seemingly dull life and where it is leading. You are exactly where you need to be, for this is where your soul has wanted you to be, and you have answered the call. So there again is a confirmation from my guides that I'm 100% on track. It's exactly where I'm supposed to be, which is always really, really, really reassuring. Your routine will become clear soon. Your time here is fleeting in this universe, in the universal sense. So what they were saying is like, we're here on this earth for like literally, and what I got was like, we're here for a split second. It's like, doom. And you will become more and more understanding of this as your knowledge expands. So as our knowledge on this earth expands around the galactics, around, you know, how we came to be here, why are we here, the more we get in touch with the remembrance, as I like to call it, the more it'll become clear. So really, they're saying your time here is fleeting in the universal sense. And you will become more and more understanding of this as your knowledge expands. Your need for people is a false one because, yeah, you know, people always need other people, but it is a false one because the people you come into contact with cannot feed you what you need because they are not at your awareness levels. And many of us healers are feeling like this, is that there is no... I can't get what I really need from other people because they're not understanding what I'm going through. They're not actually, you know, at that same place. And there's only a few people that you're working with that are actually doing that and that actually get you. So you purposefully put yourself here for this very reason, to expand your awareness of your innate ability to absorb and dissolve, transmute and dilute any energies not of the highest serving. And that was really interesting for me. Over the last few months, I have been working through a huge energetic force, which has been quite intense for me. And I've been alchemizing it and changing that implant. So be as you are, for these times are turbulent for others and peaceful and boring for those who relax and go with the flow. The conflicts and deaths you are aware of, and that's, I think we're talking about Ukraine, are a product of ego and greed, which has been a main driver for humanity. But the opposite effect is slowly becoming the awareness. You are starting to see the people who are and can affect change be starting to stand up, and you will see how this encourages more to stand up. And I have noticed, particularly in the Hollywood scene, while there's a breakdown happening there as well, there are many more actors and actresses and people with influence, people who've gained stardom and finances and a big following. And many of them are starting to stand up. I'm taking, Ashton Kutcher and his wife recently donated a huge amount of money to the Ukraine. Yes, they have ties, but you know what? I think the more people start standing up for humanity and saying, hey, this is not right, this is not what I want, the more we're going to be able to affect the change quicker. So by watching this unfold, others will start to do the same until you will see the wave gather power. And what they're saying is there's a momentum happening of people starting to go, hey, I disagree with this. I'm going to do something personally, rather than just sitting and watching and sitting back and going, oh, it's terrible. Even those who you thought entirely taken over. And this was a really interesting thing when they basically say, even those who you thought entirely taken over by the negative, you will see the goodness within their energy field rise up and start to dominate the unconsciousness which has prevailed for so long. How beautiful is that? So yes, you know what, we're seeing some world leaders where we basically sitting down and we're going, oh my goodness, he's awful. How could he do that? It's shocking. But understand there's a consciousness within that person that will rise up and start to dominate. The more energy is around in that space, the more others, like more conscious beings, are anchoring that into this earth and into the energy field, the energetic field, the more that will happen. Put it this way, you will be, no matter how big or small your contribution is, and they go on to say this, okay? So I'm going to read that again because it's brilliant. Even those who you thought entirely taken over, in other words, mean, horrible person, never going to change. You will see the goodness within their energy field rise up and start to dominate the unconsciousness which has prevailed for so long. We are seeing this rise and unfolding little by little. Therefore, do not be discouraged by your situation, as in the earth, and looking around and going, flippin' hell, what's going on? You feel that it is small and insignificant. You are one of many energy forces, which are feeling the same way. So there's many of us are starting to feel, wow, we keep doing this, and we are just almost feeling like we're fighting a losing battle. But they're basically saying you are one of many energy forces which are feeling the same way, helpless, unheard, powerful, yet untapped. You feel like we could do so much more, but we're untapped. This is not the case. Every small detail counts. Every small ripple affects the cosmic resonance. Go about your day completing the simplest tasks. By doing this, you will see that the silent battle, you are affecting this every moment. In other words, by us in our small little force field, energy field, can affect, because it's like a ripple effect. We just keep, and like they mentioned, there will be a wave that starts. You know, a wave, when somebody starts a wave in a pool, it's always very little, you know, it's a small wave, but it gathers momentum and it gathers speed and it gathers strength and it keeps going and keeps going. And this is what I think I know we are here to do, especially the healers, the ones that are anchoring this beautiful energy into the earth, that are feeling, holy moly, are we not being heard? Is this are we being overrun? And, I'm here to say, I really don't think so. I think everything that we are doing in our small little way matters. It matters. So I wanted to leave you with that today. It was a really fabulous, encouraging message. And I do want to just open this book of mine. So for those of you who don't know, I wrote Raise Your Vibe with Michele Courage, light encoded galactic messages and artworks. And basically it's got a Pleiadian cover. This was inspired, it's a painting that I did completely in the Pleiadian energy. And over 6 years, I channeled so many messages like I've just talked to you about. And I decided to put them into a book. I did all the artwork myself. I did all the design myself, the layouts, everything, and got a printer to print it here in New Zealand. And obviously it's available on Amazon. But the vibration that this book carries, that the messages inside this book carries, raised my vibration. They basically helped me to change my life. And I was called to share these messages. They've got such a high vibration. And this that I've just opened at this page is exactly what they've been talking about. You can't dream this stuff up. So it's on a painting that actually this painting is part of a series that I did. I think I was really starting to tap into a lot of the ancient memories of our seeded race, where we come from, which is more Orion. We're seeded from that star system, as I understand it. And this painting was a painting using a lot of oranges and yellows and soft grays, which are the opposite of fear. Those colors bring in joy and happiness and lightness. And so the quote that I'm matched here is, whilst you have so much to learn, you are an absolute trusting soul, and this alone will allow great growth. When your time is up, we will be calling your name with praise, for you will have touched so many lives in such a profound way. And that's why I say that quote is just perfect for today. Do not underestimate your reach by the smallest stuff that you do in alignment for your soul, and which is correct and helping the new energy to anchor into this earth. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you would love a book, if you'd like it signed, you can buy it off my website. In New Zealand, free postage. You receive a small little artwork with it and a little note in the front of the book. It's a beautiful gift to give. Or you can buy it off Amazon and they will send it to you. So I'm going to leave you on that note today. And if you really like this, subscribe to the channel. It's on my YouTube channel. You may be listening to this on the podcast if I decide to put it back on the podcast and back up on the podcast, or you may be watching this on Instagram, although I think it's a little bit long for Instagram. So you may have found it on Instagram on my page and then started watching and then finish it. So thank you very much for the support, and I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day wherever you are in the world. And yes, don't fret, we got this.